In the vast expanse of space, humanity had always wondered if we were alone. That question was finally answered on a quiet Tuesday morning when massive ships appeared in our skies. Not just any ships, but the approaching fleet of the Galactic Empire, stretching across the horizon like metallic mountains. The world held its breath as their first transmission reached us. Your species has been deemed suitable for integration into the Empire. Prepare for peaceful submission. Their words were diplomatic, but the threat behind them was clear as crystal. Submit or face annihilation. What the Empire didn't expect was our response. You see, they'd been watching us for centuries, studying our technology, our wars, our divisions. But they missed something crucial, the unbreakable human spirit that emerges when we face a common threat. I was there in the United Nations emergency session when Earth's response was drafted. The room crackled with tension as representatives from every nation gathered. Even longtime rivals sat shoulder to shoulder, their usual differences forgotten in the face of this greater challenge. As the UN Secretary General stepped up to the podium, you could hear a pin drop. They think we're just another primitive species to be absorbed into their empire, she said, her voice steady and determined. They've conquered 1,000 worlds, but they've never met humanity before. We knew what we were up against. Their ships could vaporize cities. Their soldiers wore armor that could shrug off our strongest weapons. Their technology was centuries ahead of ours, but we had something they didn't expect. We had nothing to lose and everything to fight for. The response we sent back to their fleet was short and to the point. Humanity respectfully declines your offer of integration. We choose to remain free. Any hostile action against Earth will be met with consequences beyond your imagination. They laughed. Of course they laughed. Their admiral's hologram flickered in every major city on Earth, his alien features twisted in what we assumed was amusement. You possess no weapons that can harm our fleet, he stated. Your resistance is illogical. What the Empire didn't know was that humanity had been preparing for this moment since we first looked up at the stars. Hidden bunkers across the globe housed experimental weapons that defied conventional physics. Quantum computers had been running battle simulations for decades, and most importantly, we had developed technologies that even their advanced sensors couldn't detect. But our greatest weapon wasn't our secret arsenals or hidden bases. It was something the Empire had never encountered in all their conquests. Humanity's absolute refusal to bow down to tyranny, our ability to unite against impossible odds, and our knack for achieving the impossible when backed into a corner. As their ships moved closer to Earth, positioning themselves for what they thought would be a quick submission, we prepared our response. Not just military leaders and politicians, but every human being on Earth became part of this resistance. Scientists, teachers, farmers, children. Everyone had a role to play in what would become the greatest stand in human history. The Empire had given us one standard galactic day to submit. As the deadline approached, tension built across the globe. In homes and bunkers, in cities and rural communities, humans waited. We knew that our next actions would either mark the beginning of our enslavement or the start of something unprecedented. A war that would shake the foundations of the galaxy itself. What happened next would change the course of not just Earth's history, but the entire galaxy's. The Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson. Never underestimate the species that turned a tiny blue planet into their fortress, and never, ever threaten their freedom. The first sign that we weren't as helpless as the Empire believed came from an unexpected source. Our deep space monitoring stations detected unusual fluctuations in their shield systems, microscopic weaknesses that appeared and disappeared in milliseconds, weaknesses that our quantum computers had predicted and that our own scientists had spent years preparing to exploit. In underground facilities beneath the Antarctic ice and deep in the Amazon rainforest, we activated our planetary defense grid. Not the obvious missile silos and laser arrays that the Empire had already dismissed as primitive. No, these were something entirely different. Quantum entanglement devices, reverse engineered from decades of studying mysterious signals from deep space, hummed to life for the first time. The Empire's command ship broadcast another message, their tone now tinged with impatience. Your time grows short, humans. We see your pitiful preparations. They will not save you. Their arrogance was almost amusing. They still thought they were dealing with a simple, frightened species about to be conquered. What they didn't know was that humanity had been playing a long game. Since the 1947 Roswell incident, we had been quietly collecting and studying pieces of advanced technology. Each crash, each mysterious signal, each unexplained phenomenon had added to our knowledge. While we publicly struggled with basic rocket technology, our best minds were unlocking secrets that would make Einstein's head spin. The UN Security Council convened in their deepest bunker, monitoring the situation. The young officer who rushed and carried data that made even the most hardened generals pause. "Sir," she reported, "Project Phoenix is ready. All sites report green status." Project Phoenix wasn't a weapon. It was humanity's insurance policy. A network of facilities hidden throughout the solar system, capable of sustaining human civilization even if Earth itself fell. But it wasn't just about survival. It was about ensuring we could fight back, no matter what happened next. As the Empire's deadline drew closer, something extraordinary happened. Social media platforms lit up with messages of unity and defiance. People shared their stories, their hopes, their determination to remain free. It wasn't just empty words. Humans were organizing, preparing, refusing to give in to fear. In orbit, our seemingly primitive satellites began shifting positions. The Empire's sensors registered the movements but dismissed them as desperate repositioning. They couldn't detect the quantum fields building between them, forming a web of energy that would soon make history. The UN Secretary-General addressed the world one final time before the deadline. "Today, we stand not as nations, but as Earth. We stand not as races or creeds, but as humanity. What comes next will test us all, but remember this: we chose this path. We choose freedom." Across the globe, children were moved to underground shelters, not in panic, but with practiced precision. Years of quiet preparation had led to this moment. Every major city had its contingency plans, its hidden defenses, its evacuation protocols. We might have looked unprepared to the Empire, but we were anything but. In the last hours before the deadline, our scientists made a breakthrough that changed everything. Hidden in the Empire's transmissions was a pattern we'd seen before, in ancient cave paintings, in crop circles, in the mysterious signals we'd been collecting for centuries. We weren't just facing an alien empire. We were facing something we'd been unknowingly preparing to fight for thousands of years. As the final minutes ticked down, humanity held its collective breath. In command centers worldwide, operators waited at their stations, fingers hovering over controls that would activate defenses the Empire couldn't imagine. We were about to show them why you don't threaten a species that turned nuclear physics into an energy source, split the atom, and reached the moon with technology less powerful than a modern smartphone. The Empire's deadline was about to expire, and humanity was ready to reveal its true strength. The deadline expired with a deafening silence. For 3 long minutes, nothing happened. Then, the Empire's ships began moving into attack formation, their massive hulls blocking out the stars above every major city. They were positioning themselves for what they thought would be a swift display of power. A lesson to teach the primitive humans the cost of defiance. Our first move caught them completely off guard. Instead of launching missiles or activating laser defense systems, we simply vanished. Every human settlement, every power signature, every radio transmission, gone in an instant. Our quantum camouflage technology, developed in secret for decades, made Earth appear completely abandoned. The Empire's confusion was evident in their frantic communications. Their sensors swept the planet repeatedly, trying to locate our population centers. But we had learned long ago how to hide in plain sight. Underground cities, built within the Earth's natural caverns and enhanced with gravity manipulation technology, housed millions. The surface was a carefully crafted illusion. Impossible, the Empire's admiral declared, his transmission broadcasting on all frequencies. No species at this development stage could possess such technology. His voice carried a note of uncertainty that hadn't been there before. For the first time, the Empire was facing something they couldn't understand. That's when we launched Phase 2. Thousands of seemingly primitive satellites suddenly linked together, forming a complex geometric pattern around the planet. The Empire's sensors registered them as harmless debris, right until the moment they began generating a quantum field that their advanced shields couldn't comprehend. In their confusion, they didn't notice our real weapon activating. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and in facilities across the globe, we powered up the technology we reverse engineered from countless alien artifacts collected over centuries. Every UFO crash, every mysterious signal, every unexplained phenomenon had given us pieces of a puzzle we'd finally solved. The Empire's ships attempted to fire their first warning shots, massive energy beams aimed at unpopulated areas. But the beams never reached Earth's surface. Instead, they disappeared into what appeared to be tears in space itself, only to reappear pointing back at their own fleet. The Empire had just discovered that humans had mastered dimensional manipulation technology. "This is your final warning," the UN Secretary General broadcast, her voice steady and confident. "We have spent generations preparing for this moment. Every time you thought you were studying us, we were studying you. Every time you tested our defenses, we were learning your weaknesses. Leave now or witness why humanity has survived every extinction-level event thrown at us." The Empire's response was to launch their full invasion force, millions of dropships descending through Earth's atmosphere. They expected to find defenseless cities. Instead, they found themselves caught in a web of quantum fields that defied their understanding of physics. Their ships hung suspended, trapped between dimensions, as humanity prepared to reveal our true technological capabilities. In orbit, their mighty fleet faced a choice they'd never encountered in thousands of years of conquest. Before them floated a planet that had just demonstrated technology that shouldn't have been possible, a species that had somehow leapfrogged centuries of development in secret, a civilization that had turned their own weapons against them without firing a shot. The tension in Earth's command centers was palpable as we prepared to unleash our full defensive capabilities. Quantum computers calculated millions of possible outcomes per second. Our hidden fleets, cloaked in dimensional shields, moved into position. The next few moments would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of galactic civilization itself. The Empire had to make a decision. They could retreat, admitting for the first time in their history that they had underestimated a species, or they could commit to full-scale war against an enemy that had already proven to be far more advanced than they believed possible. Either way, humanity stood ready, united, and prepared to defend our freedom with everything we had. What happened next would reshape the galaxy's understanding of warfare, technology, and the true potential of the human race. Just as the Empire's command ship prepared to issue new orders, something unprecedented happened. A second fleet emerged from hyperspace, but these weren't Imperial reinforcements. These ships were ancient, their designs unlike anything humanity or the Empire had ever encountered. They positioned themselves between Earth and the Imperial fleet, their massive hulls adorned with symbols that matched those found in Earth's oldest archaeological sites. The truth hit both humanity and the Empire like a thunderbolt. We weren't alone in our resistance. The mysterious signals we'd been studying, the technology we'd reverse engineered, they weren't random gifts from the cosmos. They were breadcrumbs deliberately left by an ancient civilization that had been watching, waiting to see if humanity would figure it out. "We are the Guardians." Their transmission echoed in every human language simultaneously. "We have watched humanity grow, learn, and overcome. You were never meant to be conquered. You were meant to join us as equals." Their ships dwarfed even the Empire's largest vessels, yet they made no aggressive moves. The Empire's admiral demanded to know why such a powerful civilization would invest in protecting a seemingly primitive species. The Guardian's response shook the foundations of galactic politics. Humanity possesses something unique, the ability to innovate beyond conventional boundaries. While others follow paths of technological advancement, humans imagine new paths entirely. In our command centers, leaders and scientists frantically analyzed data streaming in from both fleets. The Guardian's technology was beyond even our secret advancements, but there was something familiar about it. Our quantum computers identified patterns matching the very technology we developed in secret. We had been unconsciously following their guidance, building toward this moment. the Empire faced a situation their protocols had never prepared them for. Their sensors confirmed what they feared. The Guardians' ships were powered by technology so advanced it appeared to break the laws of physics itself. But more troubling was the revelation that humanity had independently developed similar technology, albeit on a smaller scale. Your Empire, the Guardians addressed the Imperial fleet, was allowed to expand as a test to find species worthy of joining the greater galactic community. Humanity has proven themselves not through conquest, but through innovation and determination. They chose to face extinction rather than submission. They developed in years what took others centuries. But this wasn't just about humanity anymore. Our quantum sensors detected something massive building in subspace, a convergence of energies that suggested this confrontation was part of something even bigger. The Guardians hadn't just come to protect Earth. They had come to prevent a war that could tear reality itself apart. The Empire's ships began powering up weapons, not in preparation for attack, but in defensive formation. They had realized too late that they weren't the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. They were merely one piece in a much larger cosmic game. And humanity, the species they had dismissed as primitive, had unwittingly become a key player. In underground bunkers and command centers across Earth, humans watched as three civilizations balanced on the edge of either devastating conflict or historic cooperation. Our quantum defense grid hummed with power. The Guardians' ancient ships held position, and the Empire's fleet remained frozen in indecision. Then our sensors detected something else, a disturbance in space-time unlike anything we'd ever seen. The Guardians' ships shifted formation, and their next transmission carried a tone of urgency. It begins. The true test approaches, not just for humanity, but for all sentient life in this galaxy. The Empire's admiral opened a direct channel to Earth's unified command. For the first time, his voice carried not threat or condescension, but genuine concern. Perhaps we have all been preparing for the wrong war. Above our world, space itself began to twist and distort, as if something was trying to break through from another dimension entirely. The dimensional rift above Earth expanded, revealing a terrifying truth. Through the tear in reality emerged creatures of pure energy, ancient beings that had been sealed away eons ago by the Guardians. These weren't simple aliens. They were interdimensional entities that fed on civilization's technological energy. The Empire's massive fleet and Earth's quantum grid had created a beacon that drew them back to our dimension. In that moment, something remarkable happened. The Empire's admiral made a decision that would change galactic history. Our weapons and your quantum technology together, he broadcast to Earth's command. The Guardians' wisdom and humanity's innovation. We must stand united. For the first time in the Empire's history, they were asking for alliance rather than demanding submission. Humanity's response was immediate. Our quantum defense grid, originally designed to fight the Empire, synchronized with their ships' energy systems. The Guardians' vessels moved into formation, creating a perfect geometric pattern around Earth. What followed was a display of cooperation that would be remembered for millennia. The interdimensional beings struck first, attempting to drain our combined energy networks. But they hadn't counted on humanity's greatest weapon, our ability to adapt and improvise. A young quantum physicist in the Tokyo Underground Command Center noticed a pattern in the entity's energy absorption. "They're not just feeding," she declared. "They're trying to establish a resonance pattern. We can use that." Within minutes, every quantum computer on Earth was realigning our defenses. The Empire's ships adjusted their shield frequencies to match our calculations. The Guardians provided the missing piece, ancient knowledge of how these entities had been defeated before. But this time, we weren't just trying to seal them away. We were attempting something never before considered possible. The plan was insane enough to work. Using Earth's quantum grid as a foundation, the Empire's ships as amplifiers, and the Guardians' technology as a stabilizer, we created a dimensional conversion field. Instead of fighting the entities, we would offer them a choice: continue their destructive feeding or evolve into something new. As the entities descended upon our world, they encountered not weapons, but a transformative energy field. Their attempts to feed were met with a force that reflected their own energy back at them, but changed, harmonized with the combined technology of three civilizations. The sky above Earth became a spectacular light show as ancient destroyers of worlds faced something they'd never encountered: the opportunity for change. The process was devastating. Hundreds of Imperial ships overloaded and had to be abandoned. Earth's quantum grid strained to its limits. Even the Guardians' mighty vessels showed signs of stress. But humanity's underground cities held firm, our combined determination unwavering. We weren't just fighting for survival anymore. We were fighting for the evolution of our entire galaxy. In the end, it wasn't weapons or technology that won the day. It was understanding. The entities, faced with a power they couldn't consume, made their choice. One by one, they transformed, their destructive energy becoming something new: conscious stars, self-aware sources of energy that would go on to see new solar systems. As the last entity transformed, the Empire's admiral transmitted to all. In thousands of years of conquest, we never imagined our greatest victory would come through cooperation with a species we had intended to subjugate. The Guardians added their own observation. This is why we chose humanity, not for their technology, but for their ability to imagine solutions where others see only conflict. The aftermath transformed galactic society. Earth became the center of a new alliance: the Empire's military might, the Guardians' ancient wisdom, and humanity's innovative spirit combined to usher in an unprecedented age of exploration and discovery. But perhaps more importantly, we had learned that the greatest power in the universe wasn't the ability to destroy or conquer, but the courage to transform conflict into cooperation. Above our planet, the newly born conscious stars took their place in the cosmos, living testament to the day humanity helped change not just the galaxy, but reality itself. In the months that followed, Earth underwent a transformation unlike anything in human history. Our underground cities emerged into the sunlight, revealing technological marvels that no longer needed to be hidden. The Empire's remaining ships became a common sight in our skies, not as conquerors, but as partners in a new age of exploration. The conscious stars, once beings of pure destructive hunger, now served as natural gateways to distant parts of the galaxy. They communicated with us, sharing knowledge of regions of space we had only dreamed of reaching. Each one had a unique personality, some playful, others contemplative, but all of them grateful for the chance at a new existence. The Guardians established their first ever embassy on Earth, choosing not some grand capital city, but a small town in New Zealand. Their reasoning was simple. They wanted to understand humanity not through our leaders, but through our everyday lives. Their ancient wisdom began filtering into our society, not as imposed knowledge, but as shared understanding. Perhaps the most profound change came from the Empire itself. Their strict hierarchy began to soften as they learned from Earth's diverse cultures and governance systems. The admiral who had chosen alliance over conquest became a legendary figure, celebrated not for his military victories, but for having the wisdom to recognize when conquest should yield to cooperation. Our quantum technology continued to evolve, now enhanced by both Imperial and Guardian insights, but we maintained our unique human approach to innovation. While other species followed established scientific principles, we continued to dream up new possibilities, combining technologies in ways that sometimes shocked our alien allies, but often led to breakthrough discoveries. The transformed entities that had become conscious stars began reproducing, creating new stellar nurseries that bore the unique signature of their transformed consciousness. Astronomers across the galaxy watched in wonder as these new star systems formed, each one a testament to the power of change over destruction. Back on Earth, children now grew up looking at skies filled not just with stars, but with the visible signs of a thriving galactic community. Schools taught not just Earth history, but the vast saga of our galaxy. The Empire's children came to study on Earth, while human students ventured to Imperial worlds and Guardian enclaves, each exchange building bridges between our civilizations. The underground facilities that had been built for war found new purpose as research centers and cultural exchange hubs. The quantum defense grid was repurposed into a communication network that spanned the galaxy, enabling instant connections between civilizations that once would have fought each other. But we never forgot the lessons of those crucial days. In the heart of the United Nations building, now expanded to include representatives from across the galaxy. A simple plaque reads, "Peace comes not from strength alone, but from the courage to imagine a different path." The Empire's vast fleet, once a symbol of conquest, was transformed into an exploration force. Together with human quantum scientists and guardian navigators, they pushed the boundaries of known space, not to dominate, but to understand. The conscious stars guided these expeditions, their unique perspective helping us avoid the mistakes of the past. As I stand here now, looking up at our night sky filled with the gentle glow of conscious stars and the elegant shapes of ships from across the galaxy, I can't help but smile at how far we've come. Humanity didn't just survive an invasion. We helped transform an entire galaxy's understanding of what's possible when we choose cooperation over conflict. The Empire learned that true power lies not in conquest, but in collaboration. The Guardians discovered that their faith in humanity's potential was well placed. And we, the human race, learned that our greatest strength wasn't in our weapons or technology, but in our ability to imagine and create a better future, even in the face of seemingly impossible odds. In the end, we didn't just warn the Galactic Empire about the consequences of war. We showed them, and the entire galaxy, the incredible possibilities of peace.